Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hooper's Lab podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things basketball. I'm your host, Brody, joined here by my co host, Riley.
Hello, hello, in the flesh.
In the
Monsieur,
flesh. How are you?
monsieur. I am doing quite swell. Not gonna lie though, I have not been locked in the past 2 days on games. Pelican,
I haven't
Pelicans
really
have
had it.
Pelicans haven't played. I've just been checking the box scores, but I don't think I tapped into the end of Heat Mavericks. I think that was Wednesday. No, that
Yesterday, I
was
think,
yesterday.
no?
That was yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah.
mainly because I had a bet on Bam. He needed one more rebound or assist, and he literally
Yeah.
got it at the last play because PJ Washington missed a free throw. Because he had the over was 14, he was at 13, or I guess the over was 13.5. He was at
Yeah.
13 for like the whole third quarter. I was like, oh, he's gonna get that, and then I checked back with like a minute left, and he didn't get it. And I was like, what the fuck?
Bam. Always a letdown. No, I like Bam. Yeah, I haven't really been locked in either just because, like, playoffs are around the corner. It's just, like, a busy time for me and schooling, so it's like NBA's taken a bit of a back seat, but we still got some stuff to talk about. Um,
It's that
I
time of
want
the
to
year
start.
again.
Yeah. I want to talk about Well, we were talking about betting. I want to do a little bit of betting here. Not like real betting, but I want to see some odds. So, obviously, we know the Celtics have been an extremely dominant team this regular season,
They 100%
but
have to be the favorites.
yeah. But, like, what do you think if you had to assign percentages to, like, the Celtics winning the championship this year? How would you, like, divvy that up?
Just the Celtics or other teams too.
Uh, like other teams, like what would you if like 100%, like of all of the, how would you divide up percentages and stuff?
I think I'd give the Celtics 40,
Okay.
the Nuggets 20. That's at 60.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
And then just the rest of the field.
yeah, and then other teams probably like 10 to 5. Like the Bucks, I don't know, I almost want to say 5, but I think I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, Same with the Thunder. That would put me at 80 if my
Yeah.
math is correct. Um, Clippers, I'd also throw 10 on, and then that's 90. Give me 5 on the. We haven't seen them healthy, but they looked really good when they were healthy. Give me 5 on the Knicks, and then
Mm.
give me another 5 on. I'll
The
put some.
King.
Hell no. I'll put some faith in my Pelicans, even though it's 0.
So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah. That's fair.
Because
I like.
Cat's out the rest of the season now, right?
Who is?
Cat.
We're gonna talk about that later. I don't know if there's actually been an update. I just know he has a meniscus injury.
I think he's going for surgery.
Oh, is he? Okay, I didn't hear about that. But yeah, we could talk. He's reportedly out at least a month.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be some
So
cap.
yeah, I think they're just trying to be optimistic.
Yeah. I don't expect to see him again this year, which sucks
Yeah, I
because they were having such a great year. Granted, I wasn't 100% in on them anyways, but yeah, that
it still
definitely
sucks.
hurt. Yeah.
Especially since like I feel like Cat and Ant don't really have like as much on-court chemistry as you would want to see. So
hmm
obviously every game counts in that respect.
Well, now like also who's gonna be their starting four? Like Kyle Anderson? He hasn't even been having a good season.
Yeah,
I guess
Kyle
I wouldn't
Anderson started.
I wouldn't be mad if they fucking continue to go with the big lineup and started Nas Reed.
I mean, Nas Reed getting more minutes is a good day though because he's been incredible
Certified
this
Hooper.
season.
Didn't he take
Yeah.
like a 13 by 4? Like 13 per year for like 4 years, or am I tweaking on that? I know
I feel like he got
I
his
know his
contract.
I know
He
his
got a
contract
deal.
was a steal if I remember.
He got contract. And then Kyle Anderson started the last game for them. 3 years, 41 million. So he's making
Yeah, but
just under 13, just under 13 mil a year.
yeah, that's a steal of a contract, bro. Slow mo's jump shot might be the ugliest jump shot I have ever seen, man. He lo- he looks like
That's a
he
lot to
looks like
take.
he has a muscle spasm or something, bro. Like it's so ugly.
I don't know how it gets to that point.
No, literally, I don't understand. Like, if it goes in, it goes in. Like, sure, whatever. But I don't understand how you can be an NBA player and have that disgustingly ugly of a jump shot. Like, I figured out how to have a consistent, quote unquote, pretty looking jump shot by the end of grade 12, and I am obviously not a fucking good basketball player.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever you talk about ugly jump shots, I feel like I've never seen his name,
I
even
know.
though he like could be up there.
I don't even know who you bring up in that conversation because I don't think Lonzo's jump shot's pretty normal now. Granted, we haven't seen him play in fucking years.
Yeah, I don't know who it would be nowadays. I know that there's been like
Sean
Michael
Marion.
Kidd, John Marion, but I don't know of like who in the NBA has the worst jump shot right now.
No, exactly. Because the NBA is
I
so
mean,
jump shot heavy at this point. Like
like Reese, like it goes in.
Reese's jump shot is a little funky, but yeah, he's cash. Jaren as well, kind of same thing as Reese.
Oh yeah, Jaren Jackson. Yeah. Sure, that's an interesting question. If you're on YouTube, comment below the
Gonna
ugliest
say,
jump
who has the ugliest jump shot in the NBA?
shot. Um, yeah, but with the cat injury, it he was having his best season, I think. I don't know
His
if that's a
best
hot take.
season?
His best season.
I think he. I don't know if I'd say his best because Young Cat was a different breed, but I think I could definitely say it's his best of recent, and it's his most like I guess complete season, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you have to factor in the defense, I think.
That's true.
That's kind of
He has been really good defensively this year. Do you think
yeah.
if he eventually goes back to playing center, he could still be good on the defensive side of the floor?
It depends on the matchup, but I think so. I think he can work at the center.
I think yeah, I agree. I think he'd also need some wings around him that can he needs some wings. And no, I think he also needs like some wings and forwards around him that can defend so that he can kind of just cover things up on the back end because I think that is what he's good at defensively. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think this season's shown he can put in the effort and take strides on that side of the floor in other areas other than just that. So yeah, I think once they're done with the Gobert, well, I guess they're gonna have to probably trade him because he's gonna be making like 50 m's.
Like you could do that. You just got to eat up that contract, basically.
Yeah, either that, yeah. Like I think they'll have to choose between Gobert and Cat very soon. Well, and Gobert's contract's only like what 2 more years after this, I think.
I think so, yeah. That's still like I don't know. I think this might be his last season of like being at this level. I'm not gonna like not
Well,
gonna lie.
I agree. That was the thing last year. It looked like this was gonna be his last season
Yeah.
or because he wasn't even very good last year defensively, but it looked like after Utah, like he wasn't gonna be on that same level defensively anymore. And this year, he just decided to the Timberwolves just locked in.
He has 2 more years, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like this was debatably his best season for
Yeah,
Cat. And they also looked like a good matchup against the Nuggets, just because
just the two big
if
lineup
they,
worked against them.
yeah, I think that they're the best. Like they looked like the best, one of the best matchups in the West for them.
Yeah,
So then that kind of like sucks for them. Uh, but at the same time, like yeah, they did all this work in the season and they're really good, but I don't know. I don't think this is a wasted season, but it kind of is a big blow to them.
yeah, no, I agree. But I don't know. My thing is like I don't. Everyone's on this bandwagon, and I don't know if I'm 100% on the bandwagon of Ant being the guy on a championship team.
Yeah, I kind of thought you were gonna bring that up. I don't think I am either.
I don't know how to gauge him because obviously they've been fighting for the 1-2 seed all year long, and they've been great in the regular season. But his decision making sometimes it just doesn't feel like something I can see improving drastically. Just the way he plays on the court, like I feel like he just I think it's more of a maturity thing because I feel like he's always going to be a player to play with that kind of swagger and confidence. And in the half court down the stretch, that can come to bite you. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing that sucks about the cat injury is just because the Timberwolves have not been a good team in the clutch this year. So it would have been good to get some reps with their healthy lineup.
Yeah,
But yeah, when it comes to Ant, I can agree with you. And it's to the point where I know that this is like a negative term, but he's being slightly overrated. Maybe not even slightly. Like, he's an amazing player, don't get me wrong, but I feel like people think that he's better than what he is.
yeah. I saw some people complaining after the roster update. They were like, "How is Ant not a 90?" I was like, "Calm down. Like he's an 89, and
Yeah.
it's one overall, and he's still noticed as the best player on that team." But I guess
Yeah.
like he has the narrative behind him, the 1 seed, he's the leader of that team, putting up numbers. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't think the decision making is where it needs to be. And I think that's kind of the main thing. Like,
And
obviously, it
I
could.
think the playmaking in general. Um,
Yeah.
I think the playmaking itself can get there. I think there's been flashes, not consistent flashes, but enough to the point where you could be content at least with a guard similar to Mike Conley, at least by his side. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's just a youth thing, I feel like. Because he's still extremely young.
no,
He's
exactly.
22.
What's this, his
So,
fourth season?
fourth year, yeah. He's that guy.
Man, we're getting
Um,
old.
yeah, facts. He's still older than us, so we're good.
Barely.
Yeah. And he's up here making all-star teams, making millions of dollars, and we're just sitting here talking about him. Just a bit sad. Uh, so yeah, it's kind of a win-win for the Timberwolves, though, in a way, because if they do good in the playoffs, it's like we did this without Cat.
Yeah,
We did this good without Cat. But then if they lose in the first round, it's like, oh, we didn't have Cat, our second best player and our all-star. So
yeah. And
yeah,
that's the thing that sucks too, because if they lose, like, even in the first round again now, this will be like what the third year in a row they lost in the first round, and the first time they were coming in as the 8 seed, but this time coming in as the 1 seed, whether or not you lose your second best player or not, it's still shitty.
yeah. I don't know if they can like get past the first round without Cat.
Yeah, well,
Like if
especially
we're
depending
looking
on
at
the matchup, like they could get Dallas, the Lakers, Golden
I
State,
don't know if it matters who they play.
huh?
I don't know if it matters who they play. I think they're just like gonna be a first round exit. I don't think they really like. I
Yeah,
mean,
Cat is huge for them. I'm trying to think out of
yeah,
the four in the play-in right now, who would be the best but for them. I maybe the Kings, but I don't even know how they play against the Kings.
yeah, I don't know either. I guess it depends on like matchups and how they've been doing against them.
Because the Kings in a down season almost swept their season series against the Nuggets. So like, yeah, I don't know. Certain teams just
Yeah.
play so weirdly against each other.
The Kings are really weird with that because they're really good against good teams, but they like sink down to the level of bad teams when they play bad teams.
I feel like the
So
Lakers are like that too, which is why I think they'll be concerning in the playoffs, or even the play-in, because I just feel like asking LeBron specifically to lock in for a game, whether he's 50, I think he'll still be able to do that.
yeah, no, for sure. And it's playoffs, like he's obviously capable of doing it. But yeah. So yeah, it sucks that this team might be a first round exit, but this also is good for like the bottom teams because if you match up against the Timberwolves, it's just like an easier chance for you, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. You'll be kick in the air happy? I don't think that's a thing.
Punching the air hat? No.
I don't think that's a thing either. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
I don't know.
punching the air is a thing that you do when you're mad.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to the championship thing. Here's how I would kind of divvy up the odds. I would give third. I would give like I'd give the Celtics and Nuggets even odds.
Okay.
Um, I'm high on the Nuggets.
I feel like a lot of people are turned off on the Nuggets this year.
They've beat the Celtics twice this year. They just beat them last night.
That's true. That's true. Swept the season series.
Like, I think that if I had to bet money on it, that's going to be the finals is Nuggets and Celtics.
I can
And
agree
in
with
that
that.
series, and I would take the Nuggets. I like am really big on the Nuggets.
I
If you
think you're
look at
just a
them,
Celtics hater.
no, I'm not a Celtics hater. It's just that like yeah, the Nuggets have the better player in the series. They have the better duo, and they have the better coach. So I think that that kind of
But do they have the
like
better trio and quintuple?
oh okay. Um, I don't know. If I had to bet, I think that I do like 35%
Each.
for the Nuggets, 33% for the Celtics, or 34% for the Celtics, and then the rest for like the rest of the field.
I can
Or
see
maybe
that.
40-40-20.
I can see that. I
Something like
feel like it's gone under the radar with the Celtics because of how good their starting lineup is, but I feel like their depth is like really weak,
yeah.
just in terms of
Yeah.
actual talent. Like they have a solid center rotation of whoever's playing the best on X day, let them run the backup 5 minutes, and then Horford and Pritchard, and I feel like that's like about it. Sam Hauser, I guess, but like
However,
Sam Hauser. So like yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. I feel like they have a really weak bench.
It is. I don't really know like how many guys off the bench you can trust in the playoffs. But then again, like how many guys do you need in the
No,
playoffs?
that's the thing. Like they'll probably be running a 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 man rotation anyways. So
Probably seven.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
bet money on seven. Horford and Pritchard.
Yeah. Um, Pritchard minutes in the playoffs. I don't know about that.
Just I
That's when
get
we're
just some just some guard minutes. Have him sit in the corner for 10 minutes.
yeah. If I'm a coach against him though, I am attacking that man,
Spo-
especially since like this team defensively, like everyone is a good defender
better
basically.
better pray they don't get the heat. Jimmy and Spoelstra will eat that man's asshole out.
Jesus. But then you also look at the Nuggets. And it's not like the Nuggets are a team that has depth really either.
No, exactly.
So
Like the Bruce Brown loss. That's what people are like. They're making it seem like the Bruce Brown loss is huge for them, which I mean it sucks because we haven't exactly seen the progression that we would want to from Peyton Watson, Christian Braun. Like we've seen it a bit, but
yeah,
I don't know if we've seen it enough to where you're fully confident. But at the end of the day, you have Nikola Jokic, and I think you're okay with that.
yeah, you have the best player in the league, the best game manager probably.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. So I mean, and he makes people around him better, and he just controls the game so much in a positive way. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, the Celtics are beatable, and I think them and the Nuggets. I think we're gonna see Celtics Nuggets barring injury.
yeah.
I think that's the I think that's the finals matchup. That's kind of destined to happen.
Gotta hope Kristaps doesn't get injured.
Yeah, that's another huge thing. He's really the big X factor. We're gonna have to do a playoff X factor episode sometime. Uh, but yeah, he would definitely be the big X factor for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't he the best post scorer in the league this year?
Statistically, yeah, and he doesn't like do it very often.
I mean, which makes sense. But
He just wants them threes.
I also I think we're kind of zooming past the fact that Missoula isn't an amazing coach. I think that that's kind of like another concern for me when it comes playoff time.
Well, I feel like his X's and O's are not stellar, but they also haven't needed to be, which sucks. Because they
Yeah,
just win games. But yeah, I think his offense, while it works, I think it also has flaws, and you know, obviously with him not being looking at least at this point in time like a stellar X's and O's coach, I don't know if that adjustment will come. So
yeah, yeah. We'll have to see if that actually plays a factor because there's better coaches in the East that can really they can scheme.
yeah,
Specifically, uh, the Knicks and Heat. Those are two teams that they can go into a series prepared, kind of.
even the obviously they're in the West, but even the Clips.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But then also like the Celtics' philosophy of the absolute heavy three ball, like it works, and most of the time the team that hits more threes wins the game, like
Yeah,
80% of the time. So it's gonna be interesting.
yeah.
Um, I want to talk a bit about the Mavericks. Woo.
Luka
Um,
Doncic. He had a crazy
so
shot last night.
I mean, yes, I did. I'm a big fan. Um, yeah. So with the Mavericks, going into the trade deadline, they were on a roll. They were on like a 6 game win streak, like before the deadline and even spanning after the deadline. But now they're, I think, 2-6 in their last 8 games, something like that.
Yeah, it's super weird, and it's also super weird to for me because I feel I still have I don't want to say 100%, but high confidence in them to I don't even know if I want to say make the playoff, like succeed and up, just because um like just a few game losing streak really hurts your um like where you are in the not even where you are in the standings, but like I guess where you are. Like you still there's still like the 7-8 seed tier, but then you're like 2 games behind whoever's in front of you now instead of one. So like it's just a hard race to lose games in, but I still have confidence in them to at least make it to the playoffs. I could see them hopping the Suns for that 6 seed.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I honestly think I would be more worried if they were in the play-in. Like were to finish the season in the play-in, which is very to be fair is a very easy possibility. But depending on the matchup, because if they get the Kings in the like they're the 8th seed and the Kings are the 7th seed, I could see the Mavericks coming out and beating the Kings.
That
But
revenge.
for
Luca
real,
loves personal vengeance games.
for real. But I would be worried if they had to go up against like LeBron and the Lakers.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Obviously Luka's Luka, but I feel like the Lakers would have a even though Darvin Ham is people love Darvin Ham as a coach. Um, um, I think they'd come out with the right scheme against the Mavs. What do you think is the scheme to stop Luka?
There is none.
I feel like
Like,
I mean, this is hard to say for someone who went for 70, but I feel like the scheme is let Luka score all the points.
yeah, honestly. Um, because like the thing that makes the difference with the Mavericks is if the other guys are, going that night. Because
Yeah,
there are games where it's like Luca's, doing Luca things and the other guys are stepping up.
no, exactly. Like try to obviously don't just let Luka do what he wants, but like
Defense.
instead of trapping him on that pick and roll, just make sure the lob isn't there, and just hope Luka misses sometimes on those jump shots. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and their defense is awful, so it's like you can get it back on the other end. That
Exactly.
might be my match too, is to value, running them off the line a bit.
Yeah.
forcing them inside and then going back down and trying some threes and then kind of living and dying by that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's insane
is like
how good Luca is, to be honest. Like
is insane.
he just he has I think he easily has the skill level, if not better than Jokic. He just doesn't have I feel like that same pedigree maybe.
Yeah.
Just
I
doesn't.
mean,
Yeah, and a
when
playoff
it comes
playoff
to,
run would do him saviors.
when it comes like playoff time and in games where it really matters, it's Luka and Jokic for me as the two most dangerous guys.
Yeah.
Like even though Luka I don't think is the second best player in the league, he is the second most like dangerous player when it comes to just a one game or even just a series matchup.
Well, they can literally they can just do whatever they want whenever they want, and it's crazy.
Yeah, they really just command the whole game and they everything runs through them and they do it to a T.
Yeah.
The thing about the Mavericks, though, is their defense has been god awful. They had a 6 game stretch. Am I cutting out? Am I good?
Um. Well, your voice has been fine, but you've been completely delayed on your camera,
Like the whole time?
just for the past few seconds.
Okay. Well, that's but with the Mavericks, their defense is pretty awful, and it has been pretty awful for like the past couple games, other than last night.
Yeah.
So that's something that's definitely concerning.
Which is
I also
ironic because the pieces they got were supposed to help defensively, and it's also just weird because Jason Kidd is a good defensive coach. So
yeah, I mean when you have this team, you can't really you have to kind of change your philosophy a bit.
yeah,
You can't be like,
do you think we'll see the end of the Luca Kyrie backcourt anytime soon?
let's see why
Yeah, I just
Kyrie.
don't know how
Like,
they actually play together really, play
it's
off
such
of
a
each other.
weird yeah, it's such a weird duo because like Kyrie is having an amazing year, and Luke is obviously Luca, and he's kind of like LeBron-esque in the sense of how much he like demands the ball and commands the game.
Yeah,
But then also Kyrie was the perfect second guy to LeBron, but I'm just not seeing that same connection with him and Luca.
yeah, and no, it's weird because Kyrie can 100% play off the ball and do it efficiently. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just Luca's heliocentric style of ball that's hard to adjust to. I understand, obviously it is, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic.
Yeah, I also think the depth is just pretty awful. Like the supporting cast, like basketball is a team game, and I don't really like any of their players other than Luca, Kyrie, and sometimes Derek Lively. But he's going to be a rookie in the playoffs,
Yeah,
so that's kind of concerning. Um, but yeah, and then another thing that I'm kind of concerned about is the Mavericks go through these honeymoon stages where, Luca and Kyrie, their first couple games, they looked like unstoppable, and then they missed the playoffs. And then, you seen like Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington after the trade deadline. Uh, the first couple games, they looked amazing, and it
yeah,
was like, okay, the Mavericks are real. And now they're starting to lose. Gafford is like playing backup minutes, and they gave up first round picks to get those guys.
yeah.
So yeah, like Gafford isn't starting right now. He's playing 17 minutes a game on the Mavericks, and
I think we knew
just
that was
like
gonna happen though.
yeah, but they gave him a first. So even at the time, I was like, do you really have to give up a first round pick? Like they have no picks anymore, and they have no avenues to really get better
Yeah.
with this roster. They're kind of locked in.
No, that's my thing, is that they just don't really have, other than really and I don't even think he has incredible value at this point in his career there, Kyrie. Um, he's obviously, it's not the same as when he was on the Nets when they traded him for a bunch of seconds, but he's getting older, and yeah, that's the thing. Um, you just have a bunch of role players, and while most of them for the most part do fit nicely next to Luca, it's just hard since there's literally apart from him and Kyrie, there's no one on the roster that can do anything with the ball. Um, And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like there's not enough talent, and they don't have a way to get more talent.
Yeah. I'm interested to see kind of how that affects the team down the line when it is time for Luca to kind of make a decision. Um,
Well,
I'm interested.
I saw a tweet. It was about some. I think it was just some NBA executive was concerned about Luca potentially asking out soon. So yeah,
Yeah, but even when you look at their conference finals run, like their depth pieces really stepped up during that run.
Brunson was fucking fantastic. That's when I knew that Brunson was gonna get a bag, and everyone in the offseason was like, "You paid this guy $26 million. Look at him now." Like if you watch that playoff run, you could 100% tell Jalen Brunson was gonna be that guy.
Yeah, and even guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. was playing really good. Maxi Kleber had like some really good games.
Maxi Kleber was like an elite role player that series,
Yeah,
bro.
he was elite that playoff run.
I think he still
And
has that like style of play, but he's just getting older, so it's hard.
yeah, definitely getting slower with old age, which sucks. But I don't like Jason Kidd as their coach.
Yeah, no, I don't mind Jason Kidd. I think he's just too stubborn sometimes. At least that's what I've seen in past like playoff series and things like that. He's just stubborn to make adjustments, and yeah, which is like you'd think how good of like a point guard he was, he would be great at that.
Yeah. Have you seen like some quotes that he's had this season for coaching, like in his post-game interviews?
No, maybe.
He's had some wild comments. I don't remember all of them, but he had a comment about Tim Hardaway Jr. They were like, "How are you going to inspire Tim Hardaway Jr.?" He was like, "We're going to put fried chicken in his locker."
That's
And
crazy, bro.
yeah, I was like, "Whoa, I don't know about that." Um, but I seen this post from a Mavericks fan the other day, and it was quotes that Jason Kidd has said this year. And it wasn't like a meme post. Like I looked it up and he said all of them this season. And there was just like some wild I didn't save the but
Jason Kidd is
one of
wild, and
one of them was the fried chicken thing, and I was like, that's it. That's insane.
that's actually crazy.
Yeah. Um I want to talk about Benjamin. Benjamin Simmons.
Talk
The
about
last
what?
bit of hmm?
Talk about what about him? I yeah, it's like it's such a weird career path, man. Like
It is. It's a big what if.
went from all defensive player of the year conversations, multiple time All Star, All
All
NBA,
NBA.
I
All
think.
NBA.
Yeah, All NBA, and he was fantastic. Just to can't stay on the floor for more than 5 games, and I genuinely think
Do you know how many
um
games he played this season?
this
If you had to
season
guess.
I
Yeah.
constantly see alerts that he's out. I'd say like we're what 60 games in almost, like maybe 30.
He's played 15 games this season.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, 15. Glad I flipped him when I did.
Yeah,
Traded him in the week one, not thinking it was gonna work, and I was like, "Ooh."
it's just like I I think it's like legitimate injury too. Like I feel like back injuries are really hard to recover from, and it sucks. Like because he has like next year's his last year. I'm pretty sure,
It is 40 million.
and like I think he'd want to come into that season 100%. Obviously, no matter he could play like LeBron next year, and giving him another max contract would be a bad decision. But I think he's gonna want to come into next year fully healthy and at least try to get another mini bag. But yeah, it like with the way his injuries just keep stockpiling, it almost feels like it's the end of his career, man.
Yeah, like I don't really know about his future because after next year, you know, what's his market kind of gonna be?
If
Like I
he
don't
if
really see
if he doesn't play, it's gonna be a minimum contract to try to
if
rebuild
that.
his value. If
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Honestly, because he doesn't play. Like
Yeah,
15 games, 42 games last year. Do you want to know what's crazy? LeBron has played more games on the Lakers than Ben Simmons' entire career.
can't say I'm very surprised by that, but that is crazy. How long was Ben Simmons in the league before LeBron came to the Lakers? Like two? I guess it would have been 3 years.
2017, 2018. So,
Or did he come
uh,
in? No, yeah, it was BI's third year. So yeah, Simmons is third. I guess Simmons is second year technically, or yeah, second year, second year, second year.
I guess. I just feel like LeBron's been on the Lakers for longer than I thought.
I know. No, that's what I'm saying, man. We're getting old. Like things that don't
Yeah.
feel that long ago are like that long ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. It feels like just yesterday you were texting me, LeBron signed to the Lakers. Or I remember when Boogie signed to the Warriors and we were
That one,
freaking out.
that one was crazy. I was like laying in my bed and my jaw just dropped. No,
You text
another good one was the Dame trade.
Dame.
When we were playing 2K.
Oh,
We
right.
just finished
Yeah,
that random rec game and we're like, what the fuck?
yeah. That was crazy too. Or the James Harden to Brooklyn one when I was like, so what happened was we were like, okay, if James Harden gets traded today, what time is he gonna get traded at? And we both said like a time. I said like 2:37 or something, sometime.
Yeah.
And then I went to rink. I went to the rink and then I checked my phone and he got traded the time that I said he was. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy. Chris Paul one was also like Chris Paul to Houston was also kind of weird because it was like it's just some random point in the day. I was literally at school
I
and
was at a water.
I was at school and I got the notification. I was like, what the fuck? Chris Paul got traded?
I was at Fun Mountain on a field trip.
Too bad Fun Mountain will never reopen with their crazy owner.
It's not fun anymore. It's not fun. It's just a mountain.
Do you remember the last time we went to Fun Mountain together?
Yeah, yeah,
I remember there was like this is gonna sound like creepy, but there was some girls there that we were trying to talk to
yeah. I remember that.
with the pink
God,
swimsuit. Throwback.
yeah, yeah. I don't remember that all that, but I do remember that part. Yeah, I don't even. That was a long time
That
ago.
was so long ago. No, we must have been like
Grade
grade
9,
9. Yeah, grade 8, 9.
probably grade 9. Yeah, crazy.
Throwback.
Oh, Dawson is right now.
I was gonna
Crazy.
say.
Okay. Anyways, enough about our. I feel like I'm on a rocking chair right now. Back in my day.
A
Um,
little
but yeah,
sidetrack.
yeah. I don't know how we got there. But looking back on Ben Simmons' prime, like he was named one of the best six guards in the league during that 2019-2020 season.
I miss Prime Ben Simmons, man. I would go to war for that man. The hate he got. Now it's semi-deserved.
Yeah, and when you look at the just the defensive impact that he had, he was second in DPOY voting. Uh,
Which year was that?
20,
Gobert?
2020, 2020, yeah. Gobert won it, and then Ben Simmons was second.
I think you were really pushing for him to win that deep way.
Probably. I was bro, Ben Simmons like prime defensively. I wrote a big article about his defense, like this long piece about his defense back when I had the website.
Yeah.
And then bro, what? Whoa, KCP finished 11th in DPOY this year.
What team was he? Was that when he was on the Lakers?
He got a vote for DPOY. Yeah, he was on the Lakers this year. This was the championship Lakers year, I think.
He's maybe
Or
even the best defensive player on his team, bro.
he got more votes than AD.
That's insane.
2020. No, what year is this? 2020 or 2021. This
That's
isn't the
the year.
bubble. This
That's the
is
year after the
after.
bubble. Yeah.
That's even crazier.
Was he even on the team? No, they traded him the year after.
Yeah, this was his last year. They traded a DPOY candidate for Russell
Oh,
Westbrook.
because I think AD barely played that year.
Oh yeah, that's probably why he's not even here. Ben Simmons finished 12th in MVP this year.
That's insane.
But do you know what's even crazier? Derrick Rose is ninth.
Which Bulls media members were voting him in, man. Is that
He
the year
played
when he was on the
24.
Timberwolves?
No, this I think this was his Knicks year, like his
No.
first Knicks year. Yeah, this was his
Oh, I
Knicks year.
forgot. I forgot he had like the second resurgence on the Knicks.
Yeah, bro, looking at these awards is weird because people just be throwing votes.
I was gonna
Anyone gets
say.
you get a vote. It's like Oprah with cars, man. Get a vote. You get a vote. Um, yeah, it sucks for Ben Simmons because I was really high on him. I thought that he was gonna be a depoy, potential MVP guy. You know,
Now he's just a
it's
scrub.
it's over. I had some stock going into this year. I had the slightest chance. I was like, you know what? This is the last year of Ben Simmons, make or break, and he broke physically
No,
and
that's
mentally.
my thing. Like, I don't know if physically he can get back to where he needs to be. Like, 'cause it's just like a lingering back injury. It's like the same thing with Lonzo. Like, he's spent the past 4 years recovering and still,
It's too many injuries at this point.
yeah,
It's too much to recover from. I think.
it's
I think that
Jover.
that athleticism is gone, and that.
Yeah.
Um, speaking of athleticism and injuries, talk about Zion.
Why are we talking about
Um,
injuries? Don't wish that on anybody.
I mean, injury histories.
Oh, he
How
has
many
plenty of that.
played 50 games this year?
Yeah, he
It's
hasn't.
pretty good.
He's only missed. Well, I don't. I, for Zion standards, he's only missed a few. He hasn't been
Yeah.
playing a lot of back to backs. Like he's only played like one or two back to backs, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, this season or I guess like this past month, he has been kind of going to point Zion, and he's been playmaking a lot more. So I think he's averaging, I think like 7.5 assists since the trade deadline. The month of February, he was averaging 8 assists. So he's kind of looking good in the playmaking department. How do you gauge Zion right now in his season?
His season, obviously the scoring's down, but that's literally just because there's so many mouths to feed on the Pelicans, and I think they're slowly getting to the right amount of CJ McCollum. He can still hijack games, which hurts the Pelicans a lot. Where he just like tries to do too much. But when he's playing, like he's been shooting the three ball amazingly this year, and when he sticks to that, playing off the ball off of Zion and Bi's gravity, he fits perfectly. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah,
think
gravity.
he had
Oh,
what?
yeah, doesn't have gravity.
He does have gravity, bro. Coming off that pick and roll,
He's triple team.
off that pick and
What did
roll.
that happen? Yeah, when did he get like double teamed the whole game? Was that against like the Hornets?
Clippers trapped him on every pick and roll.
He had like 15 points, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna double team
He's
him.
had a couple games like that where he just come off a screen and then they'll trap him so he can't do anything and has to pass it away. But yeah, I think they're starting to figure out how to use Bi and Zion as a duo more, which is why I don't understand the point of people trying to push it so hard that Bi and Zion can't fit together, especially with the roster they have. Um,
It's being pushed a lot. Uh,
I think,
that like we need to move on from Ingram or Zion, and I
yeah,
don't do it.
I don't think you have to unless you're under the impression that just neither of them can be the number one on a championship team. If that's what you're gonna say, sure, I understand that. But I think the problem is that I'll circle back to this for the millionth time in my life is that Willie Green can't figure out how to use them together as a duo. It's like the same thing with um, when Adrian Griffin was coaching the Bucks. He would use Dame and Giannis pick and rolls like what 5 times a game. It's even less with Bi and Zion. They don't like they'll run like two pick and rolls per game, if that. And I don't know if it's that Zion doesn't want to be the screener or what, but
I think that's a big thing. I think lots of players don't want to do pick and rolls. Like Zion, I don't know this for sure because I don't watch the Pelicans as much, but I feel like he just doesn't want to be a screener. And I also feel like it could be the same thing with Giannis because like low key Giannis isn't good at setting picks.
yeah, But that's the thing, like especially for Zion. But if that's the thing and you don't have the ball in your hands, what are you doing? Because he shoots like .13 a game. He doesn't shoot a mid range. All he does is take layups and occasionally dunk it because he's not even that athletic anymore.
And to do a pick and roll is how you get those easy buckets. So it's
Exactly.
like, yeah,
And
I do think coaching as a part of it, but also just like the willingness to do it.
yeah, I was actually gonna ask you this. I want you to hear an outsider's perspective on what you think they should do in the off season.
Okay, in the off season. See, again, when it comes to like Valanciunas is a free agent this year, right?
Yeah,
I think you explore someone else. Um, the problem is I don't know what the market is like, but I do think you need a rim protecting center.
I think you'd have to trade for one.
Yeah, you'd probably have to trade for one. I don't really know about like trades what you do. I'm trying to think of like who's on this roster. Herb, Trey Murphy. Obviously, you keep Herb and Trey Murphy. I really like those guys.
Yeah, Herb has been
Uh,
fucking fantastic this year, bro. He's shooting like 42% from three.
Thanks for the reminder. No, Jaden Ivey had 30, 34 the other night, I think. 32. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
honestly, Isaiah Joe's been disappointing since the trade.
Yes.
I know. I was kind of when you mentioned Case and Wallace instead, I was kind of like, yeah, and then you're like, no, I'll do Isaiah Joe, and I was like, fuck.
uh, still like, even, I think. But I don't really know what you can do, really.
That's the thing.
Like,
It's hard. Um,
I don't think you can get rid of CJ, even though,
I
I
don't think
wouldn't mind.
I don't. That's the thing, because I really like the Dyson and Herb front court or not front court, back court, because just defensively they are like the twin towers together, but shorter. Um, but yeah, I think Jonas Valanciunas just doesn't fit. Um, and that's the thing. There's not a lot of centers that will fit next to Zion, but like, because obviously you'd want someone like Miles Turner who will space the floor and can also protect the rim, but I don't think that's realistic. So I
He's the
think
only guy. Him and
e-
Kristaps are the
exactly
only guy,
they're the only people that could do that. So if
and they're
they
not on the market. So,
exactly, so if I really am advocating for like a just a Jared Allen, Nicholas Claxton type, if you can somehow manage
yeah.
to pull that off. Just someone who can jump higher than half an inch off the ground. Um,
And I think that Jonas, when it comes to, and just like this archetype in general of players that can hit a three, I think they're kind of overrated just because you say that they space the floor, or lots of players are like, oh, this guy's a floor spacing center. But they're open threes. No one guards them.
they're open for a
So,
reason. Like
yeah,
they'll
exactly.
live
But
with
like,
that.
if I'm a team, I'll live with that. I'd rather have a guy that can actually protect the rim and can defend rather than have a guy that can occasionally hit an open three.
That's also my thing with Jonas. Like he's been doing his best. He's definitely had his best season on the Pelicans this year, and he's doing a good enough job of fitting next to Zion. But he's still just not good enough at what Zion would need. Like he shoots like maybe 1 to 2 a game, and he shoots it at a pretty good
One,
clip. But
yeah, one and a
um,
half threes a game.
yeah, that sounds right. Like he shoots it
It's
at
like
a
I'd
good
rather have a guy shoot like zero threes and like be good on the defensive end.
exactly.
Honest.
And here's my thing. Like I've defensively it would be hell for Herb Jones, but I was also for a while considering someone like Cat.
Yeah.
Pelicans fans
I
wouldn't
would
be happy though because they don't want to pay Bi either. So now that they'd have to pay Bi and Cat, it might be
yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. But like
100% no.
last year when you mentioned this to me last year and I was like very against it just because of the again, it doesn't really solve the defensive things. But with the way Cat's been playing defensively, I don't mind it as
As
much.
much, yeah. Then you could go to
But
that
yeah.
Herb and Dyson starting left backcourt. If Dyson has some confidence, man. Dyson with confidence is an elite basketball player.
They have just so many players on this team that I really like. It's just there just needs to be like a connecting piece, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why they need
and
bro. They need Lonzo, man.
if they had Lonzo, the connective glue, healthy Lonzo. But
Never
yeah, like
forget
I really
naming
like
this.
Trey Murphy.
Yeah,
I really like Trey Murphy. I really like Bi. Really like Herb. Really like Dyson. I really like Jordan Hawkins. So it's like, and then you also have guys like I didn't even mention Zion. I didn't mention CJ. Like there's just not enough minutes and shots to go around.
Jose Najee too. Willie loves to play that minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so it's just like the fact of just having like too much in a way.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think they need to buy in on a couple pieces, and like I think not. I don't expect them to bring back Najee Marshall.
Yeah, unfortunately, because he's really good. He'll find value on another team. He'll go to like the Celtics for a minimum, and we'll be like, "Oh my God, Najee Marshall's a beast."
Yeah, I think his market will just be more than the Pelicans will want to pay, because he's only making like 1 mil this year, or I think it's
Yeah,
like 1.9. Um, and I
he's a
could
damn
see,
good role.
yeah, I could see his market being like 6 to 8.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, yeah,
Even like the
5 to 8.
Spurs, I could see them paying him
Yeah, I mean, because who else are you gonna?
just to get someone who can play minutes next to Wemby.
Yeah, someone other than who Justin Champagne. Just
Champagny.
what's his name? Yeah, that's who I think he's started games at small forward for them
Yeah, he
this
is.
year.
He is. Pop just be trying things out, man.
Wait, I think he has something else. It says he hasn't played a game for the Spurs this year.
I swear I saw him literally in the box score yesterday.
Is this a
Um,
different? Is there two Justin Champ? Swear I've seen.
who started for them yesterday?
Yeah,
Julian
it says he.
Champagny. Julian Champagny.
What the? Oh, this is Justin. There's two.
There's a Justin Champagny. I just thought you meant
Justin.
I just thought you meant Julian.
No, I didn't know there was two. Justin Champagny is. He's played 3 games for the Wizards this year.
I did not know that was a person, if I'm being honest.
He's played 44 NBA games in his career, averages 7 minutes a game. So he's like a nobody.
He's
Yeah,
good.
it's Julian. Okay, I was thinking of Julian. Yeah, he's been starting a lot for them, so it's like
Pop literally
anything's
just
better
be
than
trying things out, man. The Bulls almost have a 500 record, bro. That's insane.
mid. Did you see the game where they shot 2 for 29 for three
Sounds about right.
against the Pistons when they lost? They had like the worst shooting like game ever. Like high volume shooting games, 2 for 29 from three is insane.
Yeah. Bro, the Pistons are officially a full game ahead of the Wizards now.
Hey, the Wizards suck, man, and we don't want to be that team.
They're on a
Stupid.
they're on a 68 game losing streak right now, bro.
The Wizards are so thankful that the Pistons went on the losing streak they did because no one's talking about how bad the Wizards are.
I know.
Like, no one's talked about them all year how bad this team is. But did you see the Jordan Poole thing where he was on the ground and he was gonna shoot it?
Yeah. Jordan Poole, man,
Should have just
get
shot
this clown out the league, bro. What does he do sometimes?
it. Good off the bench. He's
I know
averaging 23.
he has been playing good since they moved into the bench, but he's just such a weird player, bro.
Just a weird person.
That too.
Yeah, he's he's an interesting player to kind of gauge. Um, yeah, I okay. Last thing I want to talk about. We were talking about Zion. Do you what do you think his realistic potential is? Is this kind of who Zion is, or do you think that he can gain kind of another level?
I think he can gain another level, but I don't know if he will have that drive to. Because he's shown the ability to shoot the ball, and he's shown the ability to shoot the ball at a really good clip. Like, he doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but when he shoots them, most of the time he shoots a pretty good percentage on them. And, um, he talks about adding to his game. I think he needs to rebound more in general, um, for his
Yeah.
position and size. But, like, the
Well, for
problem,
strength.
yeah, the problem is, like, 95% of his shots are layups, and a huge percentage of those are left-handed layups. So right now, he's just super predictable in what he does. And I think the playoffs, assuming the Pelicans make it, will be a bit of a rude awakening for him. Him and the
Yeah.
Pelicans. in
You
general.
can lock him a lot
Exactly.
in
And I
series.
think that will be the determining factor of whether he starts to consistently add more to his game on a game to game basis, or whether he just wants to continue to be this regular season dominating force where you had to send 2 to 3 bodies at him in order to stop him.
Yeah, because he's just not as physically dominant as he was before. He's not finishing at the rim like he was before.
Well, he's
And
definitely lost a step athletically. And
oh yeah,
obviously
it's
he's
evident.
still super athletic, but like I rarely see him dunk anymore unless it's open.
Yeah, I wonder if you can find like dunk numbers, NBA dunk stats.
Especially at the
Is that
beginning, at the beginning of the season, it was really bad. It's been a little better as he's gotten into a bit better
yeah,
basketball shape, but at the beginning of the year, I saw him dunk like once in like 20 games.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look at. I think I found dunk stats for this year. Number of dunk attempts. So I found number of dunk attempts. Um, I don't see Zion in the top 10. Top 20, no. Top 30, no. Jason Tatum has more dunks than him this year.
That wow, I,
Jeremy Sohan.
my
Uh,
goat.
it goes on and on and on. Yeah, I'm looking here. Sorry, but Peyton Watson has more dunks than him. Jonathan Isaac. Games
No,
is Jonathan
no,
Isaac.
I was gonna say no shot. That's real. There's no way.
No way, Ingram I think has more dunks than him. Yeah, what's going on here? Where is he? Am I just missing it? There's no way. Zion, where are you, man? Duop Reef? Okay, now we're getting crazy.
Just do
Devin Booker.
Control
Maybe
F
I'm just.
and then type Zion.
Oh, is that how you do it? Oh, I didn't know how to do it. Oh, I'm stupid. I missed him. He's 36th in the league in dunk attempts.
Who's he behind?
So
Or who's like a?
Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley, he's behind. Uh, yeah,
I'm surprised that the Pistons moved on from Bagley like that. Because like for a while it was like, yep, we're going Bagley over James Wiseman, and then they're like, get pack your bags. It's kind of funny that they just picked up like both the second overall picks in the last few seasons. Like
yeah.
maybe one of y'all will become decent.
He also like his field goal percentage on dunk attempts isn't good.
I know he's blown a lot this year.
Like he's blown. Yeah, it's actually crazy how many dunks he's blown. He's had 62 dunk attempts, and he misses 90% of them.
That's crazy. What the hell?
So he converts on 10% of his dunk attempts.
Bro
So,
is postering the air.
I mean, not that dunks like completely matter because, dunks is like a stat that doesn't really matter too much.
That's the
But
thing. Like his layup ability is so insane that like I'm not mad that he doesn't dunk it as much as he used to.
it's also like the layups in general. Like he's not finishing at the rim like he was before.
Yeah, I think it's just like the degree of difficulty in some of the layups he takes.
Yeah, for sure. Um, that's enough talk about him. He's definitely lost a step.
No more talking
I
about fatty.
maybe a couple steps, but
We know he's not getting
I
steps
think
in.
that I don't see him taking like a big jump. I think that this is mostly who he is.
Yeah,
Like
unfortunately, it does feel like MVP Zion is no longer a thing.
which sucks because that man was insane.
Yeah, like Stan Van Gundy Zion was insane.
Who's been your favorite Pelicans coach? I was thinking about asking you this, and this is what we'll finish it off with, because we've had a lot of coaches, and as a Pelicans fan, I want to know who you think has been your favorite. Like, if you had to rank the coaches.
I didn't watch or like intentively watch basketball enough at the time to know, but I didn't mind Alvin Gentry. Um, I also didn't mind Stan Van Gundy. He got the most out of Zion and Bi together as a duo. On top of that,
That's true.
at the time they had Steven Adams too, which wasn't a fantastic fit. And
Yeah.
fucking is that the team that had Eric Bledsoe too? God, that was a terrible roster. Holy shit, man.
I forgot Eric Bledsoe on that. Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams. It was awful.
Immaculate spacing. Um, And then
That's
after,
also, I think that was the seasons when like Zion was going off, like his
yeah,
peak,
yeah,
which is crazy
that
that
was
he
that
was
was his,
doing what he was doing
that was his best year.
with that spacing.
And then I guess after that it was just Willie, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if they've had another coach.
God, that
I
is. I know. Maybe it's just that I'm thinking of Luke Walton back when Bi was on the Lakers, but yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. James Borrego is my favorite coach on the Pelicans. Um, I guess
Willie Green.
by default
Nope.
I'll give Willie the benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah, those are the three.
yeah, he hasn't been fantastic. Yeah, Gentry was okay. Van Gundy was also okay. Willie Green is also okay.
Yeah, nothing too outstanding. But yeah, okay. I was just curious. I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode
Wrap
of
it up
the
like a
Nerd
fruit roll up.
Present. Like a fruit by the foot fun. What's on the end of yours?
That was spot on.
Hmm?
That was spot on.
Thank you. Uh, I don't know if that was sarcastic or not. So that's gonna finish off this episode of the Hoopers Lab podcast. We hope you enjoyed. If you're on YouTube, leave us a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Comment the ugliest jump shot in the NBA.
Mine.
If you're on Spotify, I might put up a poll if I remember. And also, leave us 5 stars. Helps us a lot. And that's it for now. We'll see you next week. Take care and goodbye.
Adios.